Nah, so cause see, typically before I start doing a video, I kind of get in order what I want to say. You know, it's not necessarily a script, but it's just kind of, you know, I get things in order. I get my mind straight. You know, I pull up things that I know that I'm going to look at. No, not today, not today, cause today I'm heated. As you can tell already, I'm heated and I'm upset. This man right here, I'm about to show you. This man right here.
Mr. Metcalf, with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn.
Who said black man here, and then proceeded to call the father of the victim weak, is #1 on my hit list. Congratulations to that man, and also thank you, because I never had a hit list before, and today is the day that I started it. Today's the day I started it because of you. So thank you, Mr. Black Man, because now I have a new reason to live just because of you. Thank you for that. So today we're doing things a little bit different. Usually, like I said, usually I have a little bit more things in order before making. I didn't even do my hair. I didn't even really do my hair. So don't even judge the way that I'm looking right now. I just really just propped the camera up and started recording on OBS. I am upset. I'm upset for multiple things. I'm upset because everyone is making this Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case a reason to speak on their political views. This has nothing to do with the two boys anymore, in my opinion. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with them anymore. It stopped being about them. Well, it stopped being about them a long time ago. But especially after that press conference, I don't know who that man is. What's his name? Dominique, sir. First of all, Dominique shouted out his organization 5,000 times during that press conference. So we should already know what Dominique was doing there. Okay. But I just don't understand how people are not seeing that. This is just, it's more about your political views than it is about the person who has passed away and the person who is on trial. Regardless of what side you're on, or if you're not on any side, congratulations to you, because that must mean you're not, you know, chronically online. I don't know. I'll tell you about what side I feel like I'm leaning towards, and it's probably not a freaking surprise. But what I'm trying to say is I'm just so confused. I'm confused at how we got here. So if you don't know what's going on, I don't know how, but we have a white boy, Austin Metcalf, and a black boy, Karmelo Anthony, and Karmelo has stabbed and killed Austin. Okay, and so now this has become a big thing, a black versus white thing. Should it even be about that? No, but unfortunately it is. And anybody who's saying has nothing to do with race, because even Austin's father has spoken out and was like, this has nothing to do with race. I think he was trying to come at it in the best way possible, and I don't think he made it up. I don't think he was lying when he said this. But for him, maybe he should have said it shouldn't be about race, but if he believes this has nothing to do with race, especially at this point, which I think he has probably changed his mind since then, is just not true. It has everything to do about race. The only reason why we're talking about this is because it is a black boy and a white boy involved, okay? And what I don't understand off the bat is, where are we getting the impression that Karmelo is not receiving good treatment or being discriminated against? Now, are there trolls online? Are there people online who are saying racist things? Yes. And I'm not saying that's okay. I'm saying, duh, like there are racist people. Like there are racist people out there. There are people who are going to take this case. And in my opinion, I'm not saying that they're right for saying racist stuff, but I just think this whole situation has been blown out of proportion, and I think people are not seeing certain things in the right way, in the right perspective. So of course you're going to find the racist people who think that, and also think black people or fill in the blank, you know, and they're going to come online and they're going to say stuff. To everybody who believes that black people cannot be racist either, I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell you. Black people can be racist as well. I mean, like, whatever. Whether you believe that it holds the same, you know, if it's held to the same standard is your own opinion, whatever. I believe anybody can be racist to any race, okay? So while I see blatant racism towards black people during this case, I've seen it and I know it exists, so I will never take that away from anybody. But I also still see the same thing on the other end. I still see disrespect and hate to a family who has lost a loved one. right? For, in my opinion, not a good reason. Now, there's been multiple things online that I just recently even found out that people are saying that Austin Metcalf was a bully and that the twins used to bully Karmelo, or that they broke his phone at some point in time, or pretty much that they had altercations with Karmelo beforehand, okay? And that Karmelo feared for his life because of these prior altercations or things that were happening a little bit prior to the actual situation happening, and that that he had every reason to stab Austin. This is my thing. I don't think there will ever be a point in history where you would ever say, okay, because people are saying because of these prior altercations as well, is that is the reason why he brought the knife to the track meet to begin with, okay? Both Austin and Karmelo were on the football team. Austin was the MVP. Karmelo was the captain of the football team. Karmelo was the captain of the track team as well. So it could have most likely been other times where they have interacted with each other. I still think, regardless if those interactions were positive or negative, there still should have been no reason that Karmelo should have stabbed him. And if there was a reason that Karmelo felt that he feared for his life, so much so that he had to bring a knife to the track meet, then he should have involved adults at that point, right? Tell the school, tell your mom, because I don't think there would ever be a point in history, like I was trying to say earlier, I don't think there will ever be a point in history where anybody would be okay or say, oh, I empathize and I understand why, some high schooler goes to high school and shoots up a school because they were bullied before. No one would ever sit there and be like, self-defense. What? That doesn't even make sense. And people are bringing the fact that there was potential bullying. I don't know how true that is. I'm just hearing this narrative. And people are bringing on this potential bullying as a good reason for Karmelo to stab this person. And that just does not make any sense to me. It does not. Nothing should have resulted to Austin actually being murdered. Even if for some reason Austin grabbed him and tried to remove him from the tent, and whether someone thinks he was right or wrong for doing that, I still don't believe that his life should have been taken. This was a track meet, broad daylight, at around 10 a.m. You telling me we out here stabbing people at track meets at 10 a.m.? So I'm not going to sit here and say there's not more to the story, because I was confused when I heard that. I was like, what kid is out here stabbing people at a track meet under a tent where there's buku people, okay? And like early in the morning, and thinking like he was going to get away with it or something. You know what I'm saying? So like clearly there has to be more to the story. I don't know. Do I still think that he should have stabbed him? No, but we're just gonna have to wait for the trial to happen and for, more information to come out, because I was confused when I heard that. I really was. I'm like, there's no way this boy is just out here stabbing somebody at 10 a.m. with all of these witnesses, right? There had to be something a little bit more. So whether that bullying stuff was true or not, I don't know. Also, shout out to my friend Leon. Y'all, if you do not know who Ruin Leon is, which I think a lot of you do, because I feel like a lot of you guys have come from him supporting my channel, and I really thank him and you guys for that. Go check out his channel. I'll drop a link in the description below so you can check him out. But we are going to be reacting to his reaction on everything that's been going on. He wanted to be a part of the video, so I was like, sure, bro, my nigga, let's do it. So he sent me a clip, and let's watch it and react to it together.
Move aside, moral. Allow someone who has an expertise in fake activism deal with the stupid that has come about with this entire topic, because as much as people would like to pretend that they care about these things, it's very evident that there are people out there who don't care about Karmelo Anthony and who also don't care about Austin Metcalf. And because I am desensitized to this topic to where I'm not going to talk about it on my channel again until I get a conclusion, whether a plea deal, guilty or not guilty, I'm at that point to where I'm pissed off at everybody that's talking about anything other than the fucking facts of this case. So let's break this down bit by bit. Dude is in a scenario where he ends up stabbing another person, and the days go by and people have their fanfare online. Put a pin in that, because I'm gonna deal with that in a second. And they're giving all their takes about black statistics and black violence and white violence and who's a bully and who's not a bully and who's the problem and who's really the issue and should we segregate everybody again. And it's absolutely fucking pointless. And there are people posting their
Pause. The people specifically the black people who say this, They bring up segregation again, and they're like, we should have never been integrated in the first place. It absolutely makes no sense. Can I say that again? It absolutely makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. I hate when people say that dumb stuff. Because at this point, if you're sitting here saying we should have been segregated and we should have never been integrated in the first place, then why are you so upset with half of the stuff that's been going on? You're so upset about racism. So what essentially you're saying is racism should have never ended. But yet you go online and you always get mad at racism, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't get mad at racism, right? Even though I do believe that there are people out there who make things a racist issue when it shouldn't be, or black people feel so insecure. Certain black people, not all, obviously not all, but certain black people make everything about race because they're thinking about it all the time, right? Like they are so insecure when it comes down to certain things and looking a certain way around white people that they start to make it about a race thing when it was never a race thing in the beginning to begin with, right? And so I see this time and time again. And so when I see people who bring up, oh, we should have never been integrated, we should stay segregated. Okay, so if you're so pro-racism, then what the heck are you so mad about right now? In my opinion, what are you so mad about? Isn't this what you want? Racism?
Fanatical fan fictions in claiming that they are in support of Carmelo Anthony, but all of their fucking evidence is amount to them jerking off to what they want to be a race war.
Finally, y'all, a witness came out and made a statement in the Carmelo Anthony case, and I have to let y'all hear this because this is the piece I have been missing, that I have been waiting for the witnesses, for the students around the situation to see what happened, and this is what he had to say.
Trying to get back to their cars, or
this is the witness.
Get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up on the tent, right?
And you know what? And that's what I thought, right? I was like, okay, if there's a weather delay, because I was like, okay, so why was Karmelo under the, other high school's tent to begin with? Which, I mean, that's not, he could have had friends out there. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe, potentially, he could have friends over there. But my number one thing was, okay, why was he there in the first place? That was not his high school tent. Why was he there? And I was like, okay, well, if there was a weather delay, let's say they were all trying to run the shelter, get on the, to cover so they wouldn't get rained on even more. So that would make sense why he's there. So I always kind of took that into consideration in the first place, because I think a lot of people are just off the bat saying, okay, Karmelo was just trying to start something by being under another high school's tent. But that's not necessarily true, because there was a weather delay and you in a track meet, maybe he was about to start running or something, and it started raining and he goes under the nearest tent, And I also was like, I looked it up. There's no evidence of any of this or any information to give this. But I looked up, I was like, okay, so was his high school's tent close to Metcalf's high school tent? And there was no evidence. But what I'm trying to say is I did take this into consideration whenever I was looking into this case. And so, yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean he was under the tent to start something. He could have just been under there to take cover from the rain. That's fine.
My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah.
He's talking about Karmelo.
I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity, so I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So, dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent.
He's talking about the twins.
Over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry.
Karmelo was on his phone.
Went from another. They grabbed this man.
Grabbed him.
They tried to punch on dude. Dude went in
yep.
there and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened.
Mind you, this man does not know Karmelo.
It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that's got unalive, and his brother, basically went over there to.
That's how you know it's TikTok. He said unalive.
It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is
wasn't on school property.
Miles away. It was community track meet, bro.
No. I don't think it necessarily has to be on school property though, because it was the school district that was holding this event, the track meet, right? And based off of the school district policy, the school code, you are not allowed to bring weapons, whether you are displaying the weapon, using the weapon, or possessing it on a school event. So it doesn't matter if it was at the high school or not. This was a school event, okay? The district was hosting this event, right? So much so that Karmelo's representative wanted to call out the district for being able to expel him a month prior to his graduation, right? So clearly they play a part into this. It was the school district's responsibility for the track meet. Therefore, you still have to follow the guidelines of said school district. And this is not a new thing. This is not special to Frisco, Texas. You're not supposed to be bringing weapons to a school event. This was a school track meet. So it doesn't matter if it was on the campus or not. It was still at the school track meet. Right? Like, let's say someone did the same thing at a football game. Would have been the same thing. What?
Thank you.
And as we look to this other side that claims to support Austin Metcalf, it's a bunch of people who already didn't like black people, using this as their excuse to say we must get away and no longer should we assimilate with black people and all of these things should go on. And it's fucking embarrassing. And while I just sat there and talked about and showed you how fan fiction is the reason why a lot of people who are in support of Karmelo Anthony should never be trusted in going near a fucking courtroom, we need to talk about these motherfuckers who claim to be in support of Austin Metcalf. Because as of time of recording, there was a protest earlier today in support of Austin Metcalf. So let's deal with each strike bit by bit. Strike number.
And before Leon gets further into it, I do want to agree with also how I brought up before how black people who are promoting segregation and saying it should have never ended in the first place are idiots. The same people that are white and Caucasian on Austin Metcalf's side who are saying pretty much the same thing are also idiots as well. People are taking this event, whether you are on Anthony's or Austin's side, and using it for their political views. I really feel like majority of these people don't actually care about what's going on based off of the jokes, based off of the racism, based off of the things that are being said. A lot of these people don't actually care. They are just using this situation, this scenario, this happening in order to promote how they've been always feeling about topics like this, right?
Number one, making this big proclamation that a bunch of people are going to show up when this is a fucking screenshot of that protest. Not a lot of people out there. So that means all that fucking fanatical bitching on Twitter doesn't really stand when you close your app, turn off your phone, and exist in the real fucking world. Strike number two, showing up to this entire fucking thing for some reason in a Trump bus. I don't see Austin Metcalf anywhere on that bus. I don't see Justin for Austin Metcalf anywhere on that bus.
Him right there, bro. Number one on my hit list. Get him out of here.
For some reason, in a Trump bus. I don't see.
Bro, this man right here, congratulations to you. First of all, Jakey, you're so weird. First of all, do not involve JFK into this either. Leave the man alone. Why would he include that photo of him moments before he died? What? Anyways, regardless, my dude, you weren't there. Get this man off the screen. You specifically, get you off the screen. I don't want to hear a single word you have to say after that, Mr. Black
Austin Metcalf anywhere on that bus. I don't see Justin for Austin Metcalf anywhere on that bus. So it's really hard for me to sit there and think to myself that, yeah, these people are actually here about Austin Metcalf, and they're not secretly here to start bitching about their random political beliefs and how Trump is going to be the savior of anything that just so happens to have creamy white skin. Strike number three, because this is the part that a lot of people have tended to ignore. And there's a part of blame that comes to me and a little bit on Moral, because the more this gets talked about, the more the topic gets muddied to the dumbest fucking standard. Austin Metcalf's father has gone on local and national news media to say, hey, people online, because let's be real, that's where it was going to happen. Please don't turn this into a political issue. Please don't turn this into a racial issue. Please don't do this.
I want to clarify something right off the start, because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person.
And this is what I think about his statement, right? Should it have been about race? No. And maybe even the altercation that happened initially, like where Austin was stabbing, I'm so sorry. When Karmelo was stabbing Austin, maybe in his head he wasn't like, F this white boy and I need to stab him because of blah. And to be honest, the way that black people are conditioned to think in today's world, that might have been a part of it. But I think regardless of the situation, because this has gone further than the situation now, right? It has exceeded the situation. But I think what is happening on social media right now is definitely because of a race thing. So I don't think he's necessarily, I'm not gonna try to sit here and say he's wrong or anything. I'm just saying how I view it is that what's happening on social media right now is most definitely because of race. And it's most definitely because of politics. Should it be because of race? Should it be because of politics? No, but it is.
And affected both his family and my family forever.
And as I've stated in my videos, the entire internet said, fuck that. We're gonna have our fun whether you like it or not. And it's been embarrassing to the point where this dude shows up to Karmelo Anthony's press conference. They call the cops on him. They escort him out. And then after that, he gets swatted because for some reason in the middle of Karmelo getting his bond reduced and he's sitting at home on house arrest, not being able to leave that house until the judge approves where he could go at a set time, because a lot of stupid motherfuckers are sitting here telling you that he got away with it and he's scot-free and he doesn't have to go back and deal with this at all. That is not fucking true. Time will be the thing that lets everybody know how this is going to play out in the future, which could take weeks, could take months, could take a fucking year, if not longer than that. But because the court process is boring and people know that, they got to drum up any fucking thing they want in terms of getting traction. And bringing it back to the father, he gets swatted, and that creates the conversation about everybody leaking addresses and posting addresses on social media because they think that's a smart idea. Spoiler alert, it's not. I don't give a fuck if you're mad at the judge for reducing the bond. Posting that fucking address don't help nobody, and condoning it by saying some dumb shit like, oh, well, maybe the judge shouldn't be black, or she shouldn't be trying to propagate a race war because she's black and Karmelo's black. That don't help shit, you fanatical fucking moron. So I implore you to curb that fucking enthusiasm. But again,
another thing, right? So going back to the father, what I thought was admirable about what he went online and said were he wasn't going online and bashing Karmelo Anthony and his family. His son died, yet he went online and was like, this is not about race. Don't make it a political thing. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't speak about it, okay? Later on, which was not included in this clip, but later on in the clip, he's like, God takes control of everything. I forgive Anthony. People make mistakes, blase blah. I thought that was admirable. I really did. But yet, on the other hand, the person of the family, of the person who actually murdered somebody is bashing the family of the victim and the victim himself, essentially. So it's just like, I don't understand how we have gotten to this point where there's just so much divide, I guess is what I'm saying. Besides the fact that it has to do with race and racial division. That's the only reason why we're talking about this. And that's the only reason why there's so much of a division when it comes down to this situation. Okay?
Yeah, back to the father. He gets the cops called on him to leave the premises of a press conference. He gets swatted, and then he gets wind that a bunch of stupid motherfuckers are protesting in his son's name, and they somehow get his phone number, whether if there's somebody there that knows the dad or if they found his number some way, somehow, and called him. And these dumbasses were thinking, I'm gonna get Austin Metcalf's dad on the phone, and he's gonna be out here supporting us, and he's gonna be out here making sure that we are in the right and everyone else is in the wrong. And the fucking dad, essentially, without really saying it indirectly, called everybody there a piece of shit.
Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young...
Right. That is larger than Austin at this point. This is what I'm trying to say. This has nothing to do with Austin. anymore. It has nothing to do with him. Which is why, once again, based off of what the dad has said prior, I am not shocked that he is not for this protest. I'm not. So, which also makes me feel so bad that Anthony's family is bashing him in the way that he is, in the way that they are, excuse me, and that Anthony's representative was trying to make it seem like Austin's father was just such a horrible person. I just don't agree with that. I just don't. I don't agree with this. And I don't like this dude, Jake Lang, whatever the hell his name is. I don't like him. I do not like him at all. He is just used. He is the same, the way that I view Dominique. I think that's his name. I hope that's his name. I pray that his name, I'm not saying it wrong. But the way that I view Karmelo Anthony's representative, the dude who spoke majority of the time at the press conference, is the same way that I view this man, Jake Lang, right here. I do.
Man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today.
What does that even mean?
Yes,
What
I
does
am,
that
sir.
even mean?
Okay, my turn to speak. You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
And that they are the reason why this shit is going in a completely different fucking direction. And you could imagine sitting there as a grieving father telling people that they're part of the fucking problem, and the fucking people who are the problem are calling him a cuck. They're saying he has white guilt, and they're saying that he is going to create more Austin Metcalfs, you know, more dead white kids.
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
Up.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not...
And this is right here proves that these people, Jake Lang, does not give a crap about Austin Metcalf. He does not care. He does not care about that man. He doesn't. He cares about pushing his own political agenda, his own political view. Whether you agree with that view or not, does not matter. What I'm saying is he's using this situation, okay? And using it to promote his way of thinking. Okay, once again, you can agree. Maybe you believe that white guilt is such a prominent thing in today's society. I can see where certain people are coming from when it comes with that. What I'm saying is, at this point in time, this proves that he does not actually care about Austin Metcalf. He also does not care about Austin Metcalf's family. Because if he did, he would not willingly, on camera, call the father. I don't even think he even said, hey, I'm recording. Anything like that. He would not willingly call the father on camera and openly call him weak for this, because of this point of view. This is a grieving father, a grieving man, someone who has lost his child, and you're sitting here calling him weak on camera. And shout out to Mr. Black Man, because he also calls him weak too. You still on my hip. Don't forget that.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir.
Thanks.
You are creating more Austin Metcalfs
Black
with your
man
weakness.
here, you are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son.
Sir. No, first of all, literally, quite literally, who asked? Nobody asked you, Mr. Black Man. Black man here. Yeah, I just gotta agree with that. You're definitely weak, sir. No, like quite literally, nobody asked for your opinion. I'm looking around to see who asked. Not a single person.
Killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem. You've been submitted.
Hold on, hey, Jeff.
You've been submitted.
I'll handle it from here.
I was about to say something about his cowboy hat, but I'm gonna be quiet because sometimes I like cowboy hats. So I'm gonna just shut it up. And they're in Texas. I'm gonna just shut it up.
Submitted, sir.
You're not gonna make
If
us
we
back
were all,
down.
if we were all of your
back
nature,
down.
Guys, listen.
You're
Let me
not
say
gonna
this.
save
What a
us.
weak
Not
man.
Do you know who you're talking to? You don't, do you?
I'm talking to a black man.
You don't. No, you're not.
Okay.
You sit here, you talk about Trump.
But I am. You're not
Google
gonna
my
make me
name
back
and
down.
Trump. No. When you
Black
do
males
that, my
winning.
name is.
I agree with black males
No,
winning,
Google that.
but they're not winning
but
right
what
now.
you're
They're
doing,
becoming
but
degenerates.
Hold on. First of all, look, Mr. Black Man. He's like, I got you, dude. I got you. I'm gonna support you. I'm a black man, and you're talking to another black man right now. I got you. I'm gonna support you. I'm protecting you. This is what this is right here. Y'all can't even freaking see it because I'm in the way. Well, okay, hold on. I'll explain. Mr. Black Man has his arm around Jake, and he's like, it's insinuating like, I got you, I'm gonna protect you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, get out the way. I'm telling you, this man is on my hit list.
And murdering white people.
You're not helping America. You're no more patriotic than I am. No way.
Silent is
Where
not
were you on
helping.
January
You've been
6th?
silent. It's only gotten worse.
Where were you on January
I just
6th?
You've been silent. It's only gotten worse.
Where were you? Did you stand for your country
So you
when they
think that
stole our
made you
vote?
patriot because you showed up there? Does that make you a patriot?
Oh, so this dude is not on the side of Jake Lang, is what I'm saying. See, I'm so glad I didn't say crap about his cowboy hat. Get on, brother. I'm so glad.
Because you showed up.
All you're doing is condemning us. What's your
My
solution?
solution is to help people where they're weak. So we have an issue in young black males' lives across the country.
It's not
It doesn't
say that
matter.
to Jeff Metcalf.
Say that to Jeff
We
Metcalf.
talk about it.
Say it.
At the end of the
So
day,
then- so
the
then
man
what
is
is
asking.
his-
So let me ask you this: you got to fight.
Because even Leon was like, how did they get his number, essentially? Well, maybe he's been in contact with his father about this. Maybe he's been in contact with his father about this. Okay.
Father who's grieving, and your response is he's weak.
My father is celebrating my strength right now.
You have no idea. You'll never win the Senate. And what I'll do, I'll come to Florida and run for Senate and run as a Republican, and I'll kick your butt.
No, you lose, bro.
You need 2 years of presidency in Florida.
Because this behavior is why we're in the situation where we are.
No.
We get these. Is that what it is? Okay. Well, at the end of the day, he's asked you what to do and what not to do.
Listen,
you have a right to
he's
do it
no
or not
longer
do it.
You can say not talk about Austin Metcalf, but we're gonna continue.
I love somebody.
First of all, you didn't even know the man. How do you mean you love him? What do you mean? That doesn't even make sense. You don't. A liar. You're lying. With your red tie. Bro, you are a liar.
You love the thought of using Austin for T-shirts, for propaganda, and to get out here and talk about
You
who
want to
you
shut
are.
down a white man right now. That's what
I'll
you're trying
shut
to
you
do.
down.
You're not shutting me down.
I'm not raising money like Karmelo
Because I got
Anthony.
family.
I'm not raising money like
put down
Karmelo
anymore.
Anthony.
No, bro, you stop. You
You
came here to try to shut him down.
No, I
That's
came
what
in to
this
give him
is.
a message from a father.
And listen,
but I realized
bro.
Because we live in a world where apparently the only people who could kill other white people are black people.
black people.
Spoiler alert, that's not true. Just type in FSU school shooting. You're gonna find out that that's a load of bullshit. And it's this fucking performative nature where this guy felt so confident that he was gonna get a bunch of people galvanized behind him. He's got some weird looking black but also Indian dude hugging him on his fucking shoulder while he's being admonished by other
Is
people.
that what you think
Why?
he is?
Because
Does he? I guess he kind of does look a little Indian. I guess I don't know. Like, obviously he's black, but like, would he? No, let me not even speak about his voice. Let me just keep it going. Let me just keep it pushing. But maybe he is somewhat Indian. He does look a little mixed with something else. I don't know what it is, but
unfortunately, there are people who actually care about getting to a conclusion, finding out all the fucking details, making sure that every finite thing is brought about in court and we get a fair trial. But they don't get talked about as much because you fanatical motherfuckers who want to create your fake stories about autopsies and police reports and how you want to show up in a fucking bus with nothing in support of Austin Metcalf saying, hey, support us or you are the reason white guilt exists. It's fucking embarrassing that people are doing this for their own fucking made up race war online where they just want to call each other slurs all fucking day. You can do that, but don't use this dead body in order to make that fucking happen. Don't use this dead body for your fan fiction that you're gonna fucking ignore in a year from now until it's relevant again to just bring this topic up again.
that's another thing. I'm so glad he said that. These people, once everything dies down, they're not gonna say crap about it for a period of time until it's relevant again, just like Leon said. Because I was asking Leon, I was like, is there a trial court date? No, there's not one. There's probably, in my opinion, it seems as if the court, it always lags and they drag every single thing, right? For whatever reason that might be. I don't work in the judicial system. There might be good reasons for it. I don't know. But it always takes a long time for you to get a trial. So for a handful of people, I'm not gonna say every single person, but it does seem like it takes a long period of time. So this is why I also, bringing it back to what I said initially in the video early on, why I feel like this is a win for Karmelo. He doesn't have to sit in jail while waiting for a trial date, while a lot of other people have to do that. So where are we coming to this conclusion where he's not being quote unquote treated like Kyle Rittenhouse? Because people want to bring up Kyle Rittenhouse in this situation. Well, Carmelo Anthony better get the same treatment as Kyle Rittenhouse. Where is he not at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point of you're trying to say he better not get the shorthand of the stick. Okay, well, looking at it, it seems like everything is working in his favor. He is on house arrest. And I'm sure he's still going through stuff. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not. But he does not have to be in jail, at least, while waiting for his trial date. Which is going to happen, we don't know when. It could be a year from now. So I just don't know how it's not working in his favor at the moment. I really don't. But okay.
Oh, and by the way, all you stupid motherfuckers who are sitting there talking about how, oh my God, did you know that this is just like Kyle Rittenhouse? Because Kyle Rittenhouse killed 3 black people.
Say one thing. Just one thing.
Bro, we on the same page, Leo. We're on the same page, bro. See, he gets me. He does. That's literally what I was just saying. Yo, that's crazy.
Answer your question.
I swear to God, I didn't watch this beforehand. We are reacting to this live together. I did not watch this beforehand.
Who killed who or not. Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 years old, white boy that murdered two or three black kids in Michigan during a protest.
No,
he was acquitted on all.
Also, another thing, right? At the press conference, the representative had the nerve to say that Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 individuals in the back. You are so... Honestly, Kyle could sue you for defamation with your dumb ass. That did not happen. I think one was like in the face, one was in like the bicep or the calf or something. Regardless, none of them were shot in the back. Because he was insinuating that he didn't have a threat to his life. No one was charging at him. If you're shooting people in the back, then they're running the opposite direction, looking the opposite direction, whatever it may be. That is not the freaking case. I'm not trying to get into a Kyle Rittenhouse debate. I'm just saying that just wasn't true. So on top of that not being true, now this lady over here talking about some white black boys. Are we y'all, I literally cannot.
Charges.
What's so crazy is nobody else on the panel said crap. Hold on, let's go back. She said something that was not right, and nobody on the panel had anything to say. Shout out to Queen right here though, because her hair looked good. None of y'all had anything to say, which means that all of them are ignorant to the situation that she's talking about, Jazz, and nobody actually knows the truth. How many other people in this world do you think is going to do the same thing? Because of misinformation. I don't think she deliberately lied about that. I think she actually thinks. So I don't think it's disinformation. I think she actually is just ignorant about the situation and thought it had something, it were black people because it was at a BLM protest. Mind you, a lot of the stuff that happened at BLM protests also was due to white people. People don't want to talk about that. But regardless, they probably just assumed that it was a black person because they are ignorant to the situation. Not a single, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 other people on this panel, and none of them said, actually, no, it wasn't black people, because they don't know. That's crazy.
Two or three black kids in Michigan.
Black kids?
He was acquitted on all charges.
Also, not black kids, they're also sex offenders. That's so crazy. Anyways.
You're fucking stupid. You don't care about this at all, and you're fucking wrong to the nth degree. Kyle Rittenhouse killed white people, so I don't know why the fuck y'all trying to correlate black people in any conversation about that. But I will wrap this up, and you could go back to looking at Moral's beautiful face in just a moment. I want to say this. It is embarrassing how people feel so emboldened to take a story that got nothing to do with them and make it all about them. And here's the trick part. Whether you watching this video are pro Karmelo or pro Austin, this is the sick part. You're gonna have to wait for a fucking conclusion, and it's gonna take time. And at the end of it all, there's something that's gonna happen. Some people are gonna be very emboldened with their way being what happens in court, and the other people are either gonna say, but what about my fan fiction from Facebook? Or what about my fucking fan fiction I got from Twitter? Because they're delusional in the fucking mind, and they will not accept any outcome that is not what exactly they want. Because if they get what they want, you won't hear anything. They'll they'll sit there and pretend like they've won the race war, even though nothing got solved and nobody's mind got changed. Or if they don't get their way, they're going to sit there crying that it's a corrupt court and racist court, woke court, racist court, woke court. And all of it's just going to be another reminder that nobody really gives a fuck about Carmelo Anthony. Nobody really gives a fuck about Austin Metcalf. And throughout it all, I'm still going to feel bad for the dad because he's the only one, literally, with only fucking compassion in his fucking heart. He's leading his life the way most online Christians like to pretend they lead their life, but there's really no such thing as greater hate than Christian love. All right, Moral, you got the rest of this. Oh, and by the way, just because I'm petty, if you're one of the individuals who just so happens to be black and you're running around apologizing on behalf of the black community, I'm gonna need you to curb your fucking enthusiasm. You sound like a white bitch trying to apologize for slavery that she never participated in. It sucks that a young man is no longer on this earth. It sucks that he's no longer on this earth by the hands of someone who is black. It sucks that a family has to grieve. But I'm going to say this in the nicest or meanest way possible, depending on how emotionally unintelligent the person watching this video is. I didn't fucking kill him. And so that means it's not my fucking problem. I can talk about it. I can speak about the wrongs and the rights, but nobody's on behalf of me apologizing for some shit I never fucking did. And somebody who got called the F slur and the hard R by a bunch of white people and then cried about it on national news will never speak on behalf of me or really any other black person. But congratulations on tap dancing to the worst type of degree.
Well, I just want to say thank you to Leon for giving his perspective on this. I feel like we agreed with a lot of stuff when it came down to this situation. But y'all, moral of the story is stop thinking that this situation is actually being genuinely cared about. People on both ends. I don't give a crap if you are Republican. I don't give a crap if you are a Democrat. It does not matter. Both sides are using both of these boys for their political gain. That is the moral of the story. And also another thing is, once again, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Y'all do not have any real sympathy for the families. And going back to what Leon just said about the father, I genuinely think that he is the only compassionate person that has a prominent voice on social media. Even though, what's her name, Sarah Fields, I was very surprised that she was actually aligning. That's her name, right? Sarah Fields? Yeah, that's her name, Sarah Fields. I was actually surprised because that is the person that who was representing Karmelo at the press conference. He was pointing her out in all of her tweets and blah, blah, blah. And I was surprised that Sarah Fields was aligning with the father's perspective. I really was. So even she came out and was like, this is gone too far. What you guys are doing is not actually helping not Karmelo, but it's not actually helping Austin in any way, shape, or form. You guys are just using the death of this boy to promote your political stuff and promote yourself in general. Not just your political agenda or your political perspective, to promote you as a person and your organization. Same thing with the person who is representing Karmelo. He is like I said, he said his organization over 15 times at that press conference. Nigga, we get it. We understand who you work for and who's your organization. So it just seems as if a lot of these people, majority of these people, are either spreading misinformation, disinformation, or talking about this for their own political gain, for their own political views, not because they actually care about the victim or they actually care about Karmelo. And that's just how I feel. But, hey, what do I know, right? What the fuck do I know? I don't know. But let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Everyone give a big shout out and a thank you to Leon for being a guest in my on my video today. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.